Ace Frehley, the original lead guitarist and one of the founding members of the legendary glam rock band Kiss, has passed away, leaving behind a legacy that forever changed the face of rock music. He was 74 years old. Frehley, whose galactic makeup and smoking guitar solos became iconic symbols of the band's identity, died peacefully on Thursday, surrounded by his loved ones in Morristown, New Jersey. His agent confirmed that his passing followed complications from a recent fall, which had left him in fragile condition. His funeral and viewing are scheduled for Tuesday and Wednesday in New York, and the family has confirmed it will be a private event, not open to the public. The news of his death sent shockwaves through the rock community, stirring emotions among millions of fans who had grown up idolizing his electrifying presence on stage. Family members, in a heartfelt statement, expressed their grief, saying they were completely devastated and heartbroken, but would continue to cherish the laughter, energy, and kindness that Ace brought into their lives. They described him as more than just a musician. He was a father, a brother, a friend, and a man whose generosity of spirit touched countless people. To those closest to him, he was Paul Daniel Frehley, a man with a mischievous grin and a soul that burned for music. To the world, he was Space Ace, the spaceman, the embodiment of cosmic coolness and creative rebellion. Kiss, the band that turned rock concerts into theatrical experiences, was defined by spectacle, attitude, and raw energy. They weren't just musicians. They were performers who blurred the line between fantasy and reality. Their concerts were explosive productions of light, sound, and fire, with Frehley at the center, his guitar glowing and smoking like a weapon from another world. When he took the stage, it was as if a portal opened, pulling fans into another dimension. His solos didn't just fill arenas. They echoed through generations, influencing countless guitarists who dreamed of capturing even a fraction of his flair. Known for hits like Rock and Roll All Night, Detroit Rock City, and I Was Made for Lovin' You, Kiss became one of the most recognizable and commercially successful bands in rock history. Their signature black and white makeup, platform boots, and armor-like costumes gave them larger-than-life personas, transforming them into comic book heroes of the rock world. But behind all the fire-breathing theatrics and thundering drums was a group of 4 men who were fearless dreamers: Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, Peter Criss, and Ace Frehley, who dared to believe that music could be more than sound. It could be an experience, a revolution. Ace was the band's wild card, quiet off stage, but a force of nature once the lights went down. His character, the spaceman, wasn't just a stage gimmick. It represented who he truly was, a man fascinated by the mysteries of the universe, the kind of soul who saw life not in limits, but in galaxies. With his futuristic outfits and interstellar charisma, Ace made it seem like he had come from another planet, sent to Earth to teach mortals how to rock. Fans worshipped him not only for his sound, but for his attitude: cool, confident, unpredictable, and free. Kiss's original lineup, Frehley, Stanley, Simmons, and Criss, shaped an era. Together they built something that transcended music. Their concerts were explosions of emotion and electricity. Flames shot from the stage, fireworks lit the skies, and thousands of screaming fans sang every word as the band delivered one unforgettable performance after another. Frehley's guitar solos became one of the highlights of every show. He would make his instrument smoke, spark, and sometimes even shoot rockets into the air. A spectacle that stunned audiences and cemented his place as one of rock's most inventive guitarists. "We are devastated by the passing of Ace Frehley," Gene Simmons and Paul Stanley said in a joint statement. He was an essential and irreplaceable rock soldier during some of the most formative foundational chapters of the band's history. He is and will always be a part of Kiss's legacy. The 2 men, who had their fair share of ups and downs with Ace over the years, spoke with genuine affection and respect in their tone, acknowledging that without Ace's vision and raw energy, Kiss would never have become the phenomenon it did. Born Paul Daniel Frehley on April 27, 1951, in the Bronx, New York, he was the youngest of 3 children in a working-class family. His parents, Carl and Esther Frehley, encouraged music in the household. His father played accordion, and his mother had a love for classical music. It was a household filled with rhythm and melody, and Ace absorbed it all like a sponge. By the time he was 13, he had picked up his first guitar. a second-hand instrument that would soon become his voice to the world. He practiced for hours, teaching himself chords, mimicking the sounds of his heroes, and experimenting with sounds that no one else dared to imagine. Long before the fame, Ace was a kid from the streets of New York, rebellious, restless, and hungry for something bigger than himself. He spent his teenage years in gangs, getting into fights, and living fast, but music gave him direction. He once said that playing the guitar saved his life. In those moments when he was lost or angry, his guitar became his escape, his therapy, and his calling. By his late teens, Ace was already playing in small local bands, hustling gigs in smoky clubs, and dreaming of making it big. In 1972, fate intervened. A newspaper ad caught his eye. Paul Stanley, Gene Simmons, and Peter Criss were looking for a lead guitarist for their new band. Ace showed up at the audition, wearing mismatched shoes and carrying a guitar case that looked like it had seen better days. But when he plugged in and began to play, everything changed. His fingers flew across the strings with precision and fire. His sound was raw but magnetic, unlike anything they had ever heard. Within minutes, they knew he was the missing piece. Ace Frehley became the final link that transformed Kiss from an idea into a legend. From their early shows in small New York clubs to massive stadium tours across the globe, Kiss quickly became a phenomenon. Their self-titled debut album in 1974 introduced the world to their unapologetic style of rock, loud, theatrical, and unforgettable. With Frehley's sharp riffs and melodic solos, songs like Cold Gin and Deuce became instant classics. As the band evolved, so did their sound, and Ace's guitar became the heartbeat of their music. His style combined blues, hard rock, and experimental effects, often pushing the limits of what was possible with 6 strings. By the late 1970s, Kiss had reached superstardom. They weren't just musicians anymore. They were icons of rebellion and freedom. Kids around the world painted their faces like the band, wore black leather jackets, and dreamed of living life on their own terms. Ace, with his silver makeup and wild energy, became a symbol of what it meant to be unapologetically yourself. He inspired generations of musicians who saw in him not just a guitarist, but a reminder that creativity and courage could take you anywhere, even to the stars. However, fame came with its own set of challenges. As the band's popularity soared, so did the pressure. Endless tours, media scrutiny, and internal tensions began to take a toll. Ace, known for his love of freedom and his resistance to authority, often clashed with management and his bandmates. His struggles with alcohol and the pressures of fame were well documented, but even during his darkest days, his talent never dimmed. He remained one of the most gifted and unique guitarists in rock history. In 1982, Ace decided to leave Kiss and embark on a solo career. It was a difficult decision, but one that reflected his desire for independence. His debut solo album, Ace Frehley, released in 1978 as part of a Kiss solo project, had already proven that he could stand on his own. The album featured the hit single New York Groove, which became a staple of classic rock radio and showcased his ability to blend his love of melody with gritty, streetwise energy. When he went fully solo, he continued to build on that success, releasing several albums that further highlighted his skills as both a guitarist and songwriter.